Two detainees left in Guantanamo, but Republicans in the House are working on a bill that would ban such visits. Emily Cadei, reporter for Congressional Quarterly, joins us from our Washington bureau. Colonel Jack Jacobs joins us here in studio. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
I'll go ladies first here. So, Emily, could this new policy change happen very soon, or is there a lot of discussion ahead of this before anything could actually happen?
I think the latter. I think there will be a lot of discussion. The Pentagon at this point isn't even acknowledging that they're considering such a change, but we are hearing from some lawmakers who have a lot of serious questions, particularly in the House Republican side. So I think this is going to be a slow process if it ever, in fact, gets to an actual change.
And in terms of the big if there, Jack, do you think this will happen?
It might eventually happen. As a matter of fact, it probably will eventually happen, but it's going to be after a long, long discussion. Don't forget that it's got to be funded in some way. And the last time anybody tried to do anything about Guantanamo, that is, the President of the United States tried to close it, it was the Appropriations Committees who decided that we're not going to permit the writing of the checks to make it happen. This may be the same sort of thing. They just won't appropriate the money to make it happen.
Jack, in terms of, I know there's been the backlash on Capitol Hill and people not being able to really agree to get behind the president's position to try and close Guantanamo Bay, but why do we still have it? I want that from a military perspective.
Well, it's very, very difficult to do anything about the people who are going to be there without trying them. If you're going to try them, you bring them back to the United States, you have to put them somewhere and nobody wants them there. In addition to that, the whole process is going to be something of a circus, and the administration here, who didn't study the problem very clearly before the president became the president, now realizes that the administrative, logistical, and legal mess is best handled down there, and that's why they've agreed to keep it open.
And Emily, you know, some of these detainees have already been cleared to leave. Why is it that the government can't find a place to send them? Have they tried bartering with other countries, you know, making promises for things? And isn't this something that would have been anticipated?
Absolutely. They have been trying to work with countries for years now, actually, and they've slowly been able to find some countries who have accepted to take one or two at a time. You know, they've found some small island nations that have taken some of the detainees, but it's a very slow process because just as no one in the U.S. wants a former Guantanamo detainee in their backyard, there's not very many other countries that want former Guantanamo detainees either. So it's been a slow process of trying to convince other countries that they should share the responsibility for this.
Right. And Jack, are we trying to send even the most high value, if you will, the most hardened of Guantanamo Bay detainees? Would they be actually tried to be shipped out, or might they be put somewhere here behind bars in the U.S.?
Oh, no, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay forever. I think there are about 170 or so detainees there. 48 of those are going to be leaving shortly.
So they've been cleared? 48 have been cleared?
Yeah, but I got to tell you that despite the fact that we released detainees, there used to be lots and lots of them down there. From time to time, we run into them on the battlefield. A certain measurable percentage of them have been killed or captured again when we fought them after their release. But there are some of them, like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and others, they're not going anywhere. Nope, it doesn't matter if somebody wants to take them, they're not leaving Guantanamo.
So based on that information, Emily, are there those on Capitol Hill who would suggest those detainees should absolutely stay put? Does that argument still exist to keep Guantanamo Bay open and keep the guys that, as Colonel Jack says, we're meeting out on the battlefields again? I mean, is there an argument to keep them right where they are?
Absolutely. I think you're actually seeing that in Congress right now. There's a lot of Republicans who have been pushing for specific language in bills that are moving through Congress that would tie the president's hands, very much restrict and put conditions on who he can release and when and to which countries. So there's already language that's moving through Congress to do all of those things, and I think you're just going to see more of that now that the House Republicans are in power.
Okay. Emily Cadei from Congressional Quarterly, Colonel Jack Jacobs from MSNBC. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Sadly, it is a familiar trip to millions of Americans, the unemployment line.